can't solve your financial problems with the same kind of thinking that caused them. These words will change your reality because poverty can't survive in a dough chaser's mentality.
The Beat Majors.
So to all my dough chasers, it's time to get this party started now.
I like it.
With your host, Jason White.
Yo, what's up, dough chasers? My name is Jason White, CEO and founder of Witness Riches, and I'm also your host of Dough Chaser TV. I want to thank you for joining me this evening. As you come in, let me know who you are, where you're from. Right now, I see that we got North Carolina in the building. I got a couple people in the private group. We're getting some people here on our Facebook page. Let me know who you are, where you're from. Tonight, we're talking about 10 credit repair mistakes that often lead to a worse credit score. If you are someone who is looking to fix your credit and you want to take your credit score and your credit to the next level so that you can leverage that sucker, you want to make sure that you pay attention this evening, because the information that I'm going to be sharing with you can help you and prevent your actions from hurting your ultimate goal, okay? So let me know who you are, where you're from. Got a comment right now. I spent over 30%. My credit score dropped 17 points. I'm so mad. The good news is you can make that up. So don't beat yourself up too much. Just work harder next month and you can get those points back. We got Tarina from Boston, Massachusetts. How you doing? We got Alabama in the house. Sherry from North Carolina. How y'all doing? Let me know who you are, where you're from. What's up, Mr. Walken? How you doing? Tonight we're talking about 10 credit repair mistakes that lead to a worse credit score. I want to apologize because Tuesday we were not live. I was having difficulties with our camera and our software, but I guess all I had to do was restart my computer because it worked on the first try. So I apologize, but we're here and I'm going to be sharing some information that's going to help you. We got Sharon from Baltimore, Latanya from Detroit. What's good? So if you don't know, we are actually stationed in Toledo, Ohio. We help people across the nation take control of their finances and improve their credit. And it's always a delight to understand that people who are engaging with us are, everywhere across the country. So I appreciate you all joining me this evening. But let's dive into it, okay? So you may be someone who is looking to, buy a house, buy a car, invest in property, start a business, or just be prepared for whatever life may bring your way. And you may find yourself, finding strategies on YouTube, Google, even Facebook, and you're trying these things. However, you may not have the right knowledge, okay? And I don't want you to shoot yourself in the foot and try to do something and it hurts your credit score even more. At the end of the day, we want to leverage that. We want to use that to our benefit. And if you don't have the right information, you can end up hurting yourself. So I am going to share some insight with you that's going to give you a better understanding of what not to do, all right? So if you can avoid these 10 credit repair mistakes, more than likely, you're going to see your credit score improve dramatically. Instead of you doing something and your credit score drops even more, if you avoid these 10 things, you're going to see your credit score improve, okay? So again, let me know who you are, where you're from. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those questions, and I would do my best to answer those questions as I can. We get a lot of feedback, so I may not get to your question, but that's why you should make it a good one, all right? All right, so when we are working on our credit, a lot of people are in a situation where, Jason, I have these accounts that I've been trying to pay off for years, and I'm tired of it. I don't want to deal with these accounts anymore, and I'm working my butt off to pay them off, and as soon as I pay these accounts off, I'm closing them, okay? So if that is your idea of fixing your credit, you may end up shooting yourself in the foot. You may end up hurting your credit score more than you help it by having that mentality. And what I mean is, I always share that there are 5 components to a credit score. We got payment history, which is 35% of your credit score. We have credit utilization, which is 30% of your credit score. We have length of history, which is 15%, credit file mix 10%, and increase 10%, okay? By you having old accounts on your credit score, your credit report, the first mistake that you can end up making to hurt yourself is closing those accounts, okay? I know that you're working hard to pay them off, but the last thing that you want to do is to work your ass off to get a benefit and then lose out on the benefit because you decided to close the account. All right. If you have credit cards that you are working on paying off, do not close those accounts. Don't close them. Okay. Set yourself up to win. If you're worried that you're going to use them again, cut them up, freeze them, get rid of the card, but do not close it, because if you close it, then you prevent that card from continuing to help your credit. Okay. It's going to help your length of history. All right. By you closing that account, it will no longer help you build your length of history. That's 15% of your credit score. It's also going to help your payment history, 35% of your credit score. As long as you keep that account open and it reports every month, you're going to see an okay payment being added to your credit report. That's positive payment history. And then also, it's going to positively help your credit utilization. This is 30% of your credit score. If you have a credit card that you've been working your ass off to pay and you finally pay it down, don't close it, because now you're going to get the real benefit of having that credit card. That's 30% of your credit score. All right. So be smart about what you do. Do not make that first mistake by closing your open accounts. Now, you will have installment accounts like a car note, a mortgage, student loans, installment accounts, right? Those you can't do anything about, right? Once you pay those accounts off, then of course they're going to close automatically. However, if your ultimate goal is to improve your credit, I would not suggest that you hurry up and pay those accounts off. All right. We have to look at the desired result. If the desired result is to improve your credit, then we want to keep those accounts open as long as possible so they can continue to influence our payment history and our length of history. If the desired result is to eliminate debt, then of course you want to get rid of those accounts as quickly as possible. But in this case, if we're trying to improve our credit, then we need to act on things that are going to inspire that growth. Okay, so keep that in mind as you are managing your finances. Always think about what is the desired result that I want to attain, and then act accordingly to that result. If the result is I want a better credit score, then everything you need to do needs to inspire credit score growth. But if the desire is to eliminate debt as quickly as possible, of course you want to pay off those installment accounts as quickly as possible. But if you don't have to, don't, because the longer you keep those open, the longer they're going to positively influence your credit score. Keep that in mind, all right? So the first mistake that people make is they close open accounts when they shouldn't, all right? So as you come in, let me know who you are, where you're from. The second mistake that people make is when they're working on improving their credit, they do something that they probably shouldn't do. And a lot of you may have accounts with Credit Karma or a credit monitoring system, and they give you the ability to dispute those accounts via the credit monitoring system, right? A lot of us have seen that. And a big mistake that people make, which is the number 2 mistake, is they will dispute their accounts online. And by you disputing your accounts online, what happens is you do a couple things, okay? I wrote them down. One, you don't have a paper trail, for one, okay? So when you're disputing online, you're not keeping track of the disputes that you set in place, meaning that 1 month you may dispute something, the next month you may dispute something else, but they're not giving you record of your actual disputes, okay? So it's hard to actually prove what you have disputed unless the actual credit bureau is providing you that information. So that's the first reason why you shouldn't dispute online. Second reason is they give you only a few options to dispute. And the thing is, when it comes to your credit report, it must meet over 200 specific guidelines that it has to be accurate, right? And with you having 200 particular inaccuracies on your credit report, but you only have 5 options to dispute, those numbers don't match up. So due to the fact that they only give you a few options to dispute the account, the system is not to your advantage, right? And that means that you're not able to utilize every strategy that you need to get those negatives removed off your credit report. So due to no paper trail and limited options, and then lastly, the verification process is shortcutted. You know, when you just do everything online, you're basically automatically enrolling yourself into their eOscar system, okay? And this is basically an automated way to verify information on your credit report, okay? And by you disputing online, you're basically making it easier for them to deny your dispute. You're making it easy for them to say, hey, this account is verified. And what we want to do is we want to have the advantage. And the advantage is disputing everything in writing, okay? Do not shoot yourself in the foot by disputing things online. That's the second mistake that people make, and they end up hurting their credit score or hurting their credit or hurting their ability to repair their credit because they're using the credit bureau's desired process for you to dispute accounts on your credit report, and often those are not to your advantage. All right, so beware of that. As you come in, let me know who you are, where you're from. If you are digging this information, please like the video and share it with your friends and family. I would definitely appreciate that. Also, make sure that you don't forget to subscribe and follow us. We want to make sure we stay in touch. All right. Give me a quick second. I gotta look over some things. What we got? Okay, so let me look at some questions really quick. I want to make sure I give you all the best understanding. Okay, so on Facebook, we have Portia Littlejohn. Okay, so Jason, what about medical bills that are in collections? Should I dispute? Okay, under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, you have the right to dispute anything that you don't agree with on your credit report, okay? Under that law, it's your consumer right to make sure that everything on your credit report meets 3 criteria. It's 100% accurate, 100% verifiable, and 100% timely, okay? And if they don't meet that criteria, you can continue to dispute that until they make the correction, all right? This is your credit. This is your future that's at stake, and you have that right to fight for your credit, all right? So whether it's a medical bill, a mortgage, a student loan, a lot of people believe they can't dispute their student loans. You can. Anything that's on your credit report, if you don't agree with it, you have the right to dispute it, all right? Okay, Hergath Benton, what if the card is in collections? I'm going to bring up a point that will answer that question for you, okay? So we talked about 2 mistakes that lead to a worse credit score, all right? As you come in, let me know who you are, where you're from. But before I go any further, I want you all to know that today is Thursday. Today, we are going to be giving away some free stuff, all right? We're going to be giving away this Witness Riches cap, of course, not the one on my head, but I'm going to send you a new one, okay? Or you can win a Dough Chaser t-shirt, all right? That's totally up to you. But at the end, if you are interested in entering that drawing, make sure you stick around, okay? So let's go into the third mistake that people make that often leads to a worse credit score. On your credit report, okay, information on your credit report, I previously mentioned that it must be 100% timely, okay? Jason, what does that mean? 100% timely means that information on your credit report, it kind of has a statute of limitations, meaning that it can only report for so long, right? And a lot of times people, when they are moving about, they're not really thinking about these little things that are so impactful, okay? So on your credit report, you have accounts that cannot be there more than 7 years and 180 days from the date of last activity, okay? So every negative on your credit report can remain on your credit report for up to 7 years and 180 days, okay? If it's not a public record, okay? And a lot of times people will shoot themselves in the foot because instead of using that particular understanding to their advantage, what they would do is they will ignore it or be unaware of it and act as if it didn't exist. Meaning that, say you have a charged off account, right? That's been on your credit report for 10 years. Typically within a 36-month time frame, information on your credit report has the biggest impact. Because that account is so old, it really doesn't have an impact on your credit score. It just looks bad, right? And sometimes people will shoot themselves in the foot because they will contact that creditor and say, hey, I messed up in the past, but I want to rectify the situation. I want to, make up for the wrongdoing that I've caused in the past. And they will pay on that account, right? And because you paid on that account, the date of last activity is now adjusted in the future. And because it's adjusted in the future, that account now has a new impact on your credit score. It's now re-aged to look like a more recent derogatory account. That will lead to a worse credit score. And that derogatory account will actually remain on your credit report for another 7 years and 180 days from date of last activity. So a big mistake that people make is they're not mindful of the statute of limitations of the debts that are on their credit report, the negatives to be specific, and they end up shooting themselves because they will contact these companies, make payment arrangements, and renew that statute of limitations to make it seem like a more recent derogatory account. Okay? Huge. Another thing that people do when it comes to statute of limitations is they won't look into their state's statute of limitations on debts that are in their area. Okay? You may not know this, but the debts that are on your credit report, if they go delinquent, they actually have an expiration date, meaning that after a certain point, creditors will no longer have the legal right or legal ability to sue you for accounts. Now, when it comes to strategy, you can use this because you can negotiate with them based off of them no longer having a legal right to sue you. You can negotiate some kind of payment for deletion, right? But because you're not mindful of this, you end up missing out on that opportunity and paying on an account, renewing it, and now it seems like a more recent derogatory account on your credit report. That's usually a top 3 mistake that people make when it comes to repairing their credit. I see it every day, and if I could reverse the time like this, I would, but unfortunately I can't. So that's why we're educating you. I want to make sure that all of you have the information that you need to take your credit to the next level, take your finances to the next level. And if you are, whether you're using our service or you're deciding to do it on your own, you understand the right way to do this. Okay. So if you're enjoying this so far, make sure you share this video. I'll definitely appreciate it. Let me look at YouTube, see what kind of comments we got. Corey Clark, man, you are giving us some powerful information. I appreciate that, my brother. All right, let me see. Bill Walker said, why is Equifax the worst of all 3? You know what? That's hard to prove. I get people all the time saying that Experian sucks. And every once in a while, people will say TransUnion suck. I think it really depends on our case when we are actually disputing this stuff. If you have a strong case, regardless of if they suck or not, you prove your point and they can't deny it. But if your case is weak, they suck. But that question I can't answer, man, to be honest, because we get results with all 3. Antonio Rice asks, I am making the payments on a charge-off. Should I stop paying it and attempt to dispute it? Well, Antonio, think about this. It's charged off because you didn't pay it in the past, okay? And you negotiated some kind of payment arrangement. Now they have all your bank account information. They have your card information. They know where you stay. They have all this information. And because you made an agreement, you're now bound to that agreement. You're now bound to that agreement. So if you were to stop, they basically have the information that they need to sue your ass. Bro, Keep paying that, because if you stop paying it, I would probably go back in and renegotiate. But if you stop paying it, they're going to sue you, take you to court, and try to garnish your wages. And no one wants their bank accounts, to be garnished up to 25% of the paycheck. Okay. Unfortunately, it is what it is at this point. Everybody is saying Equifax is the worst. Okay. So let's go to the fourth mistake that people make that leads to a worse credit score when they are in the credit repair process. Okay. As you come in, let me know who you are and where you're from. Oftentimes I will see people working on their credit. They sent out a couple disputes, and basically they've come to the conclusion, Jason, you know what? This credit repair thing ain't for me, bro. Credit repair is super hard. It doesn't work. And I don't know how you can do it. I don't know how you designed a business around it and how you're still in business, because credit repair doesn't work. Okay. And the biggest mistake, not the biggest, but one of the top 10 mistakes that people make, number 4 on our list, is they give up too quickly. The thing about being successful in life is you have to prove to the universe that you want it bad enough. Okay. And if you're not willing to fight for what you want, why should you be successful at anything? Why should you be successful if you're not willing to struggle for it? Okay. So you have to be persistent and you have to be patient. This is a long game. A lot of people have the understanding that credit repair is overnight. If anyone has told you that, they're playing you, they're lying to you. Credit repair is not overnight. Okay. There are times when people get quick results, but oftentimes it's not going to be quick. It's going to take you at least 6 months. And depending on how severe your credit report is, 6 months to a year to get you where you want to be. Okay. And you have to be patient, and you have to go in with the right expectations. When your expectation is, I'm going to, get these crazy results in 35 to 60 days, you're going in with the wrong expectations. Okay. With credit repair, it's all about strategy. I tried this dispute. It didn't work. Now I need to try a different way to approach this. Or maybe I need to try the same way, but also remind them that I have a lawyer. And if you don't look into my case, then I may possibly sue your ass. Okay. You have to have different approaches when it comes to credit repair. Okay. And a lot of times people give up right before they're about to be successful because they didn't believe in the process. You have to persist until you succeed. Never give up. Okay. Because once you give up, you're basically telling the universe that you don't believe it can happen for yourself. And why should you be successful? You have to be willing to struggle for your success and fight for it. Okay. When it comes to credit repair, it's a long game. Have the right expectations. Do not expect that your credit is going to be fixed overnight, because it doesn't work that way. It takes strategy and it takes patience. And if you can be patient and try different strategies, then you will see success. But do not go in thinking that it's a one and done. It's a 2 and done, 3 and done. You dispute until you get results. And sometimes if one dispute isn't working after 3 tries, maybe you should change your approach. Maybe you should change your approach. And I have some approaches that I want to go into these different areas. But just keep that in mind. A big mistake that people make when it comes to repairing their credit is they give up too quickly. All right. Do not give up. Like Jarrell said, trust the process. Do not expect overnight results. Okay. Because it doesn't work that way. Be realistic. Give yourself at least 6 months. Okay. And try to implement different approaches. Okay. Huge. The 5th mistake that people make when it comes to repairing their credit is failure to validate collections before paying. Okay. Someone asked something about paying their collection account. Okay. This is what you need to do. For some reason, people have the idea that if I pay this collection account, it's going to show up as a paid collection, and that's going to improve my credit. Okay. First and foremost, you need to understand that a paid collection has the same weight, negative weight, dead weight as an unpaid collection. Okay? At the end of the day, it is still a derogatory account. It will not improve your credit score. If your idea is I want to improve my credit and I want to pay my collection account to improve my credit, nope, it's not going to work. Don't do it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying don't pay your bills. What I'm saying is if you're going to pay it, try to get the benefit. We want the benefit. The only reason we're paying is because we want a benefit, right? The benefit is removing it from your credit report, okay? But before you even get to that part, a lot of people fail to validate the debt. They fail to validate those collection accounts. Validation is all about them proving the validity of that account, meaning that, hey, you have this AT&T bill, you never sent in the equipment, we're now going to invoice you $300, and this is now in our collection department. But I sent that device in 3 months ago. Why am I getting this collection? Validation is basically, hey, you're saying this, but I need you to prove this. Send me information that basically confirms what you're saying. Okay? First and foremost, did I even have a contract with AT&T? Send me that contract. Okay? Secondly, how do I not know that you didn't find a bill in the garbage and decided to call me and say that you work with ABC Collection Company? How do I know that? Because this phone call, anybody, last time I checked, scammers have phones too. How do I know that your company even has the legal ability to collect in my state? Are you licensed in my state? What's your license number? Are you licensed in my state? Can you collect in my state? I don't know. Right? Do you have a receipt of sale between the original creditor, AT&T, and your collection company? Can I see that? You say that you own this account. Now I need to see that you actually own it. Can you provide me that proof? Can you validate this debt? Don't verify it. Don't send me a invoice from AT&T saying I owe this. Send me something that says I actually had a legal obligation to AT&T, and also that you have the legal right to collect in my state and also have the legal right to collect on this debt because now you have proof that you actually own it. Send me that information, okay? Debt validation basically forces debt collectors to come correctly. You put them in their place. And a lot of times people fail to do that and they end up paying collection accounts and not getting a benefit, okay? Debt validation can put you in a position where you may not have to pay it because if they can't prove it, they must remove it. If they can't prove it, they must cease all collection efforts. You know, all those phone calls you've been getting stops because now they're breaking the law. And if you're savvy and you understand how, debt collection works, and they call you and they have yet to validate the debt after you requested that in writing, you can now sue them and get paid. Gene Small says, Jason, how do we work with you? Gene, if you are interested in working with us, please visit my website, the 700 Club creditrepair.com. All the information regarding our credit repair service is there. I wish I could type out the web address, but I'm kind of all over the place right now. But yeah, the 700 Club creditrepair.com. Please check us out. If anyone in the comment area can write down our website address, I would definitely appreciate that. Definitely. Okay. But debt validation is critical when it comes to repairing your credit the correct way. Okay. Now, since we're on the subject of collections, I have another point that I want to make, which is the sixth mistake that people make when it comes to their credit. But right now, I am in my my private group on Facebook. If you're not a part of the Dough Chaser group on our Facebook, make sure you join that today, okay? Natalie asked, what about a bill in collections, but the original place who billed is no longer around? How can I fight that? That is, debt validation will basically help you with that, okay? They have to provide you with that proof of purchase between them and the original creditor. And if they can't provide that proof of purchase between them and the original creditor because the creditor is out of business, then that's not your fault. That's their fault. They should have got their paperwork correct in the first place, okay? So through debt validation, you can request that information, and if they can't provide it, they must cease all collection efforts, okay? And also remove it from your credit report. So that's how you fight that. And also, requesting verification through the original creditor is a great way to do that as well, because the original creditor will send you a letter saying, we're no longer in business. We don't have information on this account. All right, let me see here. We got Marcus Johnson says that he's in Japan rocking the Dough Chaser shirt. That's dope. That's dope, my friend. Please, man, on social media, tag me, man. Take a picture and tag me. I would love to see that. That's dope. He said it's currently 9:40 a.m. That's commitment right now. It's 8:42 p.m. here in the States, and where he is, it's 9:40 a.m. Japan rocking Dough Chaser gear. Hey, I'm not mad at it. Nick G said, do you provide trade lines? No, we do not provide trade lines. We do not sell trade lines and don't associate ourselves with companies who do. We do make recommendations on legal trade lines that you can obtain. And what you need to understand is that, with trade line, they made it this special word, trade line. You got any trade lines? And Nick G, this is not a diss at you. Please don't take this the wrong way. I'm just talking about the stigma on trade lines. Hey, man, you got trade lines? Hey, I got trade lines. You trying to get this? You trying to get a seasoned trade line? Okay, let's understand what a trade line is. A trade line is nothing but an account on your credit report that reports payment history, okay? So if you have accounts on your credit report right now that are reporting payment history, they are trade lines. These are credit cards. These are installment loans. These are mortgages. These are car notes. These are a line of credits with your bank, credit builder loans. All those accounts are considered trade lines. So we don't necessarily sell them. We don't provide any credit. However, we can make I got something in my eye. We can make recommendations on how to get legit lines of credit, which is the only thing they are. They're only lines of credit. We can make recommendations. Hey, look at this Capital One account. Look at this credit builder loan with self-lender. All these accounts are considered trade lines, okay? So I just want to make sure that you have that understanding, because people will try to sell you using that big word. Hey, man, you want a trade line? I got some seasoned trade lines you can get. Okay, just be careful with that. But yeah, great question. I appreciate that. Jarrell King said, I need a shirt. Stick around to the end. I'm going to have two winners. You're going to have a chance to win some free gear. However, if you are someone who wants your own Dough Chaser apparel, where you want to skip the line and go get it yourself, feel free to check out doughchaser.com. Doughchaser.com is our online apparel store, and you can buy you some stuff. Feel free. All right, I don't have a problem with you buying something. All right, mistake number 6. So we're talking about collections. Mistake number 6 is, okay, the company provided you with the proof. Now what do you do? And a lot of people, they will skip this step. They will go straight into making a payment. Okay, well, I owe this account. Dang it. How much do I owe? I'll send that payment first thing in the morning. How much do I owe? Can you schedule this payment on the 3rd? Okay. And a lot of times what you should be doing is, one, not talking to these people on the phone about it, because their job as the customer service or the salesperson, whoever, or the collections, their job is to collect. Their job is to make some kind of payment arrangement right now. Their job is not to negotiate with you. Their job is to collect, because a lot of times they receive some kind of commission and they're trying to fill their pipeline up of people who are making payments. And if you're not making payments, you're basically wasting their time. So don't talk to these people over the phone, but don't skip this step. After an account is validated, what you do is you go into negotiation phase and you begin to negotiate payment for deletions. Okay. Thank you for providing that proof. I feel more than comfortable in paying this account now, and going to, I see the balance is $1,000. Would you be willing to accept 25% of this account? Basically the benefit is, what do I want to say? Will you take 25% of this account and remove it from my credit report? Okay, that's what you want to say. Will you accept this amount and remove it from my credit report? Okay, we want to say that in writing. And basically you want to negotiate that, okay? They may not be willing to take 25%, but they may take 35%. You negotiate that in writing. You get their approval, okay, in writing, saying that they would delete it after they collect this amount, and you pay it, and then you get it deleted, okay? That's the only way it's going to benefit your credit, is if it's removed from your credit report. And a lot of times people will forget this, and they'll make a payment arrangement without negotiating that payment for deletion. And don't tell me that payment for deletion is illegal or unacceptable, or they won't accept it, because we help clients with this every day. Okay? This is business. They want their money. All right? Credit reporting is not for accounts to be reported on your credit report. That is not your right. Your right is to make sure that if it is reported, that it's reported correctly. Okay? For accounts to be reported, that is a privilege. Okay? A privilege, meaning that the original creditor who is sharing information, they don't have to report that. Remember, they have a business relationship with the credit bureaus. They're paying for the services. Okay? The credit bureaus, this is their client. Okay? The original creditor, the creditors who are reporting information, called furnishers, they are partnered with the credit bureaus. Okay? The credit bureaus are not a government entity. People have this idea that credit bureaus are government entities. No, these are private institutions that sell stock. You can go buy some stock in Experian right now. Okay? These are private institutions, and their job, like a business, is to make profit. Okay? And how they make profit is through selling your information to companies that can benefit from it. Oh, what? What'd you say, Jason? Yeah. How they make money is through basically building a database of information about your payment history. And based off of your payment history, they share that to companies who can benefit from that. Okay? Reporting is not your right. It's a privilege. The right is, if they do report it, then they have to have 100% accuracy. They can't make shit up. Excuse my language. They can't make stuff up. Okay? So that's what you need to understand. It's a privilege. You can negotiate a payment for deletion. Okay? Tarina said First Premier refused her payment for deletion offer, her first one. Yeah. Sometimes you have to go back to the drawing table and make a better offer. Okay? And it really depends on how recent was it. Is it, is the statute of limitations pending? All that stuff, okay? But a big mistake that people make is they forget to negotiate a payment for deletion, and they end up paying the account after it's been validated. Do not forget that step. Huge. Okay. Yeah, I'm like going back and forth. Okay. So before I go to number 7, we have a lot of questions. I'm trying to go back and forth to YouTube, Facebook, private Facebook. So bear with me. It's a lot of stuff. And I may not be able to get to everything, but please be patient. And feel free to send me a private email. Sometimes I can't even get to my emails, man. It's crazy. Anybody want some free work? Anyway, let me see here. We have a lot of questions tonight. This is crazy. Okay, so let me see. Let me look at some of this. Please bear with me, y'all. Thank you to Mickey Renee for sharing our website. I do appreciate that. Thank you. So Tarina said, if these accounts are deleted from the credit report, are you able to open up another account with the same creditor? Good question. I noticed that I still owe student loans even though they were removed from my credit report. So yeah, just because they're removed does not mean that you don't owe the account. It just means that they didn't report it correctly. That's a big one. Just because it's removed from your credit report does not mean that you don't owe it. It just means that they broke a law when reporting it and they were forced to remove it. Okay? So if an account is removed from your credit report, can you open up an account with the original creditor? 50-50. Okay? If the original creditor made a mistake and you really didn't owe the account, then yeah, you can open up an account with the creditor again. However, with Capital One, if you didn't pay the $1,000 credit card and it was removed from your credit report, in reality, you still owe that $1,000. They just don't have the legal right to report it anymore. So if you go back to them and say, hey, I want to open up an account, they're going to be like, well, we need that $1,000 first, bruh. Well, they better not say that. If they say bruh to me, I'm going to reach through that phone. But yeah, like you still have that, you still owe that debt. It's just they don't have the legal right to report it and hurt your credit anymore. Okay? Hopefully you all understand that. So if it's deleted, will you be able to open up an account with the same creditor? 90% of the time, no. But there are other creditors who will take your money. All right. Jason, I've gotten 2 pay for deletes that worked in the last 90 days. I have 3 more accounts over 3 years from 2015. Medical bills, should I pay for delete these accounts too? Good question. Good question. It depends on what your credit score is right now, okay? And whether or not you feel like these medical bills are still hurting your credit, okay? If your credit score is above 700, I wouldn't. I would hold off a little bit, okay? If they're threatening to sue you, then yeah, maybe you want to go into paying those accounts. But it really depends on where your credit is right now, okay? If you're maximizing the other components of your credit score, and if you're not maximizing those other components, I will maximize those other components first. Like, for example, do you have a credit card? Okay, that's 30% your credit score could be up. Relate that to points, that's 165 points. Are you taking advantage of that component first? So first, make sure you're maximizing everything. And if the account is older than 36 months and you feel like it's still hurting your credit, I do not have a problem with you negotiating a payment for deletion, okay? All right, let me see. Hergith Banton, would you suggest sending the check payment of the amount you're willing to pay with a negotiation letter? No, I wouldn't, because they can always say they never received that letter and cash the check anyway. How you gonna prove that you sent that letter? That's the thing about this game. You know, you have to be able to prove it. And if you can't prove it, it will not stand up in the courthouse. You can always say, well, I sent them a check and a letter. The judge is going to be like, well, prove that you sent the letter. If you didn't fax it, you didn't send it. Right? Because they can always say, well, yeah, we received the check. We didn't receive a letter. And a lot of janky companies do this, all right? Now, if they have integrity, if they're an ethical company, then they're going to, be honest and say, yeah, we did get the letter. But, depending on who you're dealing with, I will be very careful. Because if you can't prove it, it will not uphold in court. Okay? So, mistake number 7. And I just mentioned this. There's 5 components to a credit score. Payment history, 35%. Credit utilization, 30%. This is 165 points of your credit. Biggest mistake people make when it comes to building their credit is they don't believe in credit cards. You don't believe in credit cards, you don't believe in a 700 credit score. Okay? In order for you to get a 700 credit score, you need a credit card. Okay? If you don't get a credit card, the highest score you can get is a 680. And that won't get you great interest. Okay? You need a 720 plus credit score. And in order for you to get there, you need credit cards. Okay? Now, the thing is, just because you get a credit card does not mean that you need to max it out. I don't know where that thinking has come from. But there's a such thing as managing credit responsibly, okay? And as long as you maintain a low balance under 30%, so if you have a $1,000 credit card, if you make sure that balance never exceeds 300, your credit utilization ratio will be, percentage will be 30%. Never let it go higher than that. I would keep it lower than that if possible, which is very possible. Open up a credit card and don't use it. A lot of people miss out on 30% they could be up. 165 points they could be up because they won't open up a credit card. Oh, I don't believe in credit cards. Dude, then you don't believe in having a 700 credit score. Get over that thinking, okay? Just because you acquire a debt like a credit card does not mean that you need to go max it out, okay? You can open up a credit card and not use it. I need you to understand that. You can open up a credit card and not use it. There's no such thing as a 700 credit score without credit cards reporting on your credit report. No such thing. And if I had my board with me right now, I would do the math. But there's 550 points that you can actually influence. 30% credit utilization, 35% payment history, 15% length of history, 10% credit file mix, and then the last 10% are inquiries. Altogether, that's 550 points. 30% of that is 165 points credit utilization. Without credit utilization, the highest your credit score would ever get is a 680, 685, something like that. So if you're someone and you believe that you don't need credit cards, you're lying to yourself. You're playing yourself. Stop playing yourself. Okay? Stop playing yourself. Use information to your advantage so that you can win and transcend financially. Okay? A lot of people miss out on that ability to improve their credit dramatically because they refuse to open up a stupid credit card. Credit cards can be very helpful. Get over that thinking and just learn to manage it responsibly. Understand, just because you open up a $5,000 credit card doesn't mean that you need to go spend $5,000 on it. All right? The eighth mistake that people make on their credit is they look to get credit sweeps. Okay, I do a lot of teaching on some of the janky, things out here. Credit sweeps is one of those things. A credit sweep is when you are looking to get everything removed off your credit report. You basically want a clean slate, okay? And what a lot of janky credit repair people do is they will tell you, hey, I need you to file a police report on all these accounts. And what I'm going to do on your behalf is I'm going to dispute those accounts as identity theft. And doing that will, basically get majority of those accounts removed off your credit report. However, you play the wrong creditor, they're going to do an investigation, sue you, and may even press charges. Okay? But that's another story. Okay? If you want more information on the credit sweeps and how janky it is, I got a bunch of videos on YouTube. Check it out. But in this regard, what we're talking about is a credit sweep is a removal of everything off your credit report. Okay? And oftentimes, when you're looking at a credit report, we see clients who have a 50-50 situation. They have late payments, but they also have positive payments. They have collections, but they also have accounts that they've had for 15, 20 years. And instead of you doing a credit sweep and trying to get everything removed off your credit report, you need to be strategic, okay? Sometimes you have credible information on your credit report. You have information that is going to help your credit score improve if you keep it, okay? And you have to be strategic on what you do. Instead of trying to get everything deleted, be strategic with your approach. Focus on those negatives that are recent and that have negative connotations to them. Focus on those and focus on trying to repair those to a better standing. Okay, don't get the whole account removed. You have an account with 10 years payment history and 3 late payments. Don't try to get the whole account removed. Try to get those 3 late payments removed. Keep that other credible information so it can help your credit. A lot of times when people are going in to repair their credit, they're trying to get the whole account removed. That's impacting all the components of your credit score positively. And maybe you have a couple late payments that hurt you recently. Don't remove everything, because majority of it is credible information that if you keep can help you dramatically. Okay? So you want to be careful on the strategy that you implement. And if your idea is a credit sweep, you're playing yourself. Big mistake. Number 8. Let me know who you are, where you're from. Let me see what kind of questions we got. Kendrick said, you're giving insight on mindset and strategy. You have a very innovative strategy to delivering this knowledge. I recognize and appreciate it. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much. Let me see here. Let me see. Tarina said, great info, makes sense. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let me see what we have in our private Facebook group. Okay, Natalie said, I wrote the collection agency before with the offer, but no response, and I gave them a deadline. What's up now? Try again, okay? Remember, you don't want to give up too quickly, okay? Maybe that wasn't a good offer. Maybe they felt like that was some bull, right? Maybe you have to increase the offer. Maybe you started off at 10% of the balance. Try 20%, okay? And there's nothing wrong with following up with another letter with the same offer, just to make sure, because maybe they lost it. A lot of these debt collectors are, a little disorganized, unorganized. Maybe they didn't see the offer, okay? So send it again, right? Or maybe the offer wasn't good enough, all right? Bounce, keep it cute. That's a funny name. I don't understand your question. If you can restate that for me, that'd be very helpful. Lachey Barnville said, what are good credit cards for bad credit? Well, that's tricky because, I would suggest that you build a relationship with the credit union, okay? And the secure card that you get, let me answer this question more precisely. A good credit card for bad credit would be something called a secure card. A secure card is a card that you have to make a deposit first in order for them to give you a line of credit, okay? Look into secure cards. One suggestion that we give is one called Open Sky Secure Card. However, you also want to look into building a relationship with a credit union and looking to see if they have any secure cards. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that the secure card, the requirement is low. Typically, they start at about $200. If it's higher than that, try to find another option. But at the end of the day, we want a low deposit that we have to make. And also, we want to make sure that it reports to all 3 credit bureaus, okay? A lot of times, people will go into opening up different trade lines and come to find out this trade line only reports to one credit bureau. Well, that's a waste of $200. So when you are looking to open up these accounts, be strategic on making sure that 1, the deposit is low, and then 2, it reports to all 3 credit bureaus, and make sure it reports monthly. All right. And if you can find a secure card that does that, then that's a great way to start when it comes to rebuilding your credit. Okay. Okay. So we have 2 more mistakes that people make when it comes to repairing their credit. How you doing, Bugsy? How you doing, Mr. Leach? My bad. So we have mistake number 9. Okay. This is really a big one. A big one. A lot of people misunderstand this. If your approach to credit repair is filing bankruptcy, you're playing yourself. If your approach to credit repair is to file bankruptcy, you're playing yourself, okay? We have to understand what bankruptcy is really for. Bankruptcy is for people who can no longer afford their obligations, okay? If you can no longer afford your obligations, the United States of these Americas gives you the ability to remove your illegal obligation to pay if you can prove that you're underwater, okay? And a lot of times people will say, well, just file bankruptcy and that'll wipe your credit clean. No, it doesn't, okay? It does not. It does not work that way. What it does is it removes your legal obligation to paying those debts. And what happens is the accounts on your credit report are closed, but they are closed as a derogatory account. Your credit score is going to drop 100 to 200 points overnight by filing bankruptcy, okay? Now, for some people, bankruptcy is needed. If you cannot afford your obligations and you can prove that you cannot afford your obligations and it's actually hurting your standard of living, you should definitely look into finding a way to fix that situation, okay? And sometimes bankruptcy is the best approach for that. However, if you just have bad credit and you're looking to fix your credit and that's the desired result is fixing my credit, bankruptcy is not the best option. Bankruptcy should not be an option for fixing your credit. Well, Jason, I filed bankruptcy 2 years ago and my credit is now in the 700 club. Dude, that's not the same thing. First of all, it took you 2 years. Okay? Took you 2 years. I'm talking about people, and sometimes it doesn't take that long, but still, if your idea is to file bankruptcy to fix your credit, you're playing yourself because filing bankruptcy removes your legal obligation to pay back debts. Okay? It does not remove it from your credit report. And sometimes we see people say, man, I filed bankruptcy. I thought my credit was going to be wiped clean, but I see these accounts are still on my credit report. Shouldn't they be removed? I'm like, unfortunately, no. What they have to do is they have to stop trying to collect the account, okay? They have to try to stop collecting on the account, but that doesn't mean that they have to stop reporting that you didn't pay the debt. All right? So let's get that understanding. Let's make that clear, all right? However, okay, this is a strategy for those of you who did file bankruptcy and accounts are still reporting. If they are still reporting your credit report, look and see if those accounts are still reporting payment history. If they're still reporting payment history and they were included in your bankruptcy, then you can get those deleted due to inaccuracy. If you file bankruptcy and it's still reporting payment history, you can get it deleted due to inaccuracy. I don't know if y'all heard the wordplay in that. But those accounts were supposed to cease all collection efforts and stop reporting payment history on your credit report, okay? They can still report, but they cannot report new payment history because it has to stop. So if you have accounts that were included in bankruptcy and they were included 2 years ago, however, 2 years later, they're still reporting payment history, that's not right. That's called an inaccurate account. And my friend, you can get that deleted from your credit report. That way you can improve it, okay? But you have to pinpoint those inaccuracies. I just shared something. Hopefully you all who filed bankruptcy, you're grateful for that because a lot of people don't know that, okay? Let me see here. Rolo45 said, appreciate all the info and advice in your vids. Following your steps, I'm up 105 points in 6 months. Following what you put out, 690, 10 points from the club. My man. I love it. Yes. Hey man, shout out to you, man. Congratulations. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. I love that. Keep it up. Keep it up. Hey, I'm gonna ask you a favor. If you don't mind leaving a review on our business page, Google, Facebook, I would definitely appreciate that. If you are someone who is seeing results from the strategies that we're sharing, I would love for you to share, that 5-star review on our Google and Facebook page. Definitely help me out a lot. Thank you. It's like I'm being grateful and asking for favors. All right. Here is the final mistake people make on the credit that often leads to a worse credit score. They only dispute with credit bureaus. All right. I have a video on Instagram. On YouTube. That I talk about what to do when a dispute comes back verified. Okay. This is one of the videos I have on YouTube. And a lot of people, their idea to fixing their credit is I'm going to send these disputes to the credit bureaus, to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And I am going to try and see if I can get these things deleted, okay? And the disputes will come back as verified, and then they don't know what to do. Like, Jason, what should I do? Like, they came back verified. Well, my suggestion is we have to look at all the players in this game. We have you, the consumer. We have the furnisher, a.k.a. the creditor who is reporting payment history about you. And then we also have the credit bureau, okay? And one strategy that I always share is, if it didn't work the way that you wanted with the credit bureau, have you tried disputing with the furnisher, the original creditor? Have you actually tried, using their information against them yet? A great strategy outside of just disputing with credit bureaus is to also dispute with the companies directly and using their information against them in the dispute strategy, okay? For example, you have an account that is reporting late payment history on your credit report. You dispute the late payment history to the credit bureaus. They come back, verify, saying, hey, the original creditor said that this is correct. What you should do next is contact the original creditor and ask that they provide you with proof of those late payments, okay? And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they will reply back and say, we don't have record of that, or we can't provide those records because it never happened. They'll basically say something that proves your point, okay? And whatever information that you get back that proves that, you can use that and send to the credit bureau and say, hey, this account is reporting late payment history, and you said that it was verified, but the original creditor just sent me a letter on their letterhead that is attached with this letter saying that they can't provide proof. So how are they verifying that to you, but they can't verify it to me? I demand that you delete this off my credit report immediately. Big mistake, never dispute only with credit bureaus. Try original creditors, debt collectors, furnishers who report information about you, okay? So those are the top 10 credit repair mistakes that lead to a worse credit score. This is another edition of Dope Chaser TV. Hopefully you all have enjoyed this. Please like this video, share it with your friends and family. Tag someone in the comment area who could use this information. Let the world know that we are here and we plan on staying, okay? Let me see. Dark Man Jeff, man, you telling me you still didn't get your shirt, bro? I'm going to look into that for you, man. I'm going to write that down, Dark Man Jeff. I'm going to look into that because I sent it, all right? I try my best. Sometimes I forget, but I remember sending yours, and I think we provided a tracking number, but I'm going to look into that for you, bro, because you deserve that shirt. You deserve that shirt. I'm going to look into that. Oh, yeah, but make sure you like and share this video. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please follow me on Facebook. Tag your friends in the comment area. Share this on your news feed. I would definitely appreciate the love. But I have something special, okay? If you are someone who is interested in having opportunity to talk to me personally, what I am doing at the end of the month, I'm going to have a contest where I pick 10 winners, okay? And they will all have the opportunity to get a 30-minute consultation with me personally, okay? Now, outside of this, I usually charge $199 for each 30-minute session that I have with people privately, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to give that away to 10 people for free, okay? At the end of the month, we're going to have a live drawing, and I'm going to pick 10 people. If you want to enter yourself into this drawing, it's absolutely free. It's not going to cost you a thing. All you have to do to enter yourself into this drawing is text. Text the word call, CALL, to the number 58632. First of all, let me make sure that's the right number, man, while I'm playing. Give me one quick second. Let me make sure that's the right number because I'm new to this text messaging thing. Where is it? Keywords. Okay, yep. Text the word call to the number 58632. All right. Text call to number 58632. Okay. If you do that, one, you're going to enter yourself into this drawing automatically. Okay. And at the end of the month, I'm going to pick 10 winners who are all going to have a free 30-minute session with me privately. We're going to talk about credit repair, credit building, and other strategies and ways to leverage your credit. Whatever you want to talk about when it comes to fixing your credit, I'm going to share, how you can do so in this 30-minute consultation with me that you're going to get $200 value for free. If you're interested, text the word call, CALL, to the number 58632. I would definitely appreciate it. And while you are all doing that, I'm going to give away a free hat or a free tee. Let me get that tee so I can show y'all what it looks like. Bear with me 1 second. I'll be right back. You still here? My bad. The Dough Chaser one. Okay, so yeah, here's the Dough Chaser t-shirt. Okay, and as you can see, this is Dough Chaser TV. All right, if you want a chance to win a t-shirt or this hat, not this hat specifically, but a brand new Witness Riches hat. Let me wear it to the front. There we go. How does that look? Good? Okay. If you want an opportunity to win this, it's another texting opportunity, okay? If you're ready for this, the first two people to text 567-318-510, the first two people to text 567-318-5210, and basically you say me, whatever you want to say, the first two people to text in that number will win tonight's drawing. Okay? Text, and this is our office number, 567-318-5210. Thank you. You will have the opportunity to win either this hat or this t-shirt. Your choice. Okay? So yeah, let me look into that and see who our winners are. Did I? All right, I've been told that I may have said the wrong number. 567-318-5210. Let me see. Okay. Text the number 567-318-5210 if you want a free t-shirt, okay? And if you are interested in working with us, I'm going to provide our information in the comment area. see if we got any winners. Winners, chicken dinner. Okay, we got somebody. Let me see who this is. They said I need that shirt or that hat. Okay, who do we got? So this person has been persistent. On the 18th, they tried to win and they didn't win, but they won today. Michael from Detroit. Go Lions. Hey. Michael, my man, you won tonight's shirt. Kendrick, and you won as well. Let me know what you want. So we got two winners. We got Michael and Kendrick, and both from Michigan. What are the odds? Okay, so I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. Again, if you're interested in learning more about our service, feel free to learn more at the 700clubcreditrepair.com. Check me out next Tuesday. We're going to be live 7:30, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time-ish. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this feed, and also share it with your friends. I would definitely appreciate that. But this has been a successful evening of Dope Chaser TV. Again, my name is Jason White. I'm out. Peace. Jeff, I'm going to look into that for you as well, okay?